Hey guys, Kamina the coach here. Can you see that I have on a sweater and I have on like a sweater under my sweater? That's what happens in repatriation when you're coming back to a country that has regular seasons and you just left a country where it was like 100 degrees in March. So I'm a little cold, excuse me. You're also gonna hear a beep. That's my dinner cooking. Never mind the beep in the background. So, this is going to be another video that's a little off where I have been, like where the channel has been. Obviously, the channel has to change gears because, well, we're just not going to be doing as much working and living abroad, in education at least, that's for sure. Contractors and people in the medical field will probably still have that luxury, but I don't know about us teachers. So, I have done my best not to gear this channel towards race, because even within races there are a lot of there's a lot of discourse even within races about race and racism. So it's a couple of things I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about the difference between being a man, so just from my experience, the difference between being a black man and a black woman abroad. I'm going to talk about so part of this message is to my following that is not black. So I'm also going to talk a bit about privilege, and privilege that I'm afforded. So let's just jump right in. Right? So living and working abroad are two very different animals and two very different beasts for black men and black women from my experience. Now I do know some sisters that got married overseas, found some amazing people, but you're going to find a lot more brothers that do it than sisters. And why exactly is that? Well, it's the same reason why that the media is only focusing on the violence against black men. So yes, the world is scared of black men, but trust me, black woman is the enemy as well. In a lot of countries, we're just automatically assumed to be prostitutes if we're very nicely dressed and out in nice establishments. I have been in the UAE and been denied entry into establishments because of suspected prostitution, because they just look at all black women and just assume that. At least, again, this is my experience. Living in Southeast Asia was a real challenge. I have seen quite a few brothers really be able to really enjoy the attention. But trust me when I tell you, in general, from what I've seen, black women do not get the same kind of attention in Southeast Asia that men do. So all of the traditional myths that surround black Americans kind of carries over into the life in Southeast Asia. So, all of these people, believe the hype, oh, they're all drug dealers, or they're all basketball players, or they're all rappers, and they have, and so all of these stereotypes, and people are just curious. And the only stereotype that really surrounds black women abroad is angry and prostitute. So not really altogether too favorable, which again is primarily the reason why I returned to the United States. Yes, I was forced back by COVID, but I could have stayed in Myanmar. Ultimately, I was just lonely. I really needed some connections, some people that really understood me, and I was really struggling to do that personally in Southeast Asia. So from my experience, it's very different for men and women abroad, and I'm not jealous. I am thankful that brothers have a safe place to escape. I'm just saying that it's different, or at least from my experience it has been. Can you even see me? I feel like my face just like blends into the wall behind me. What we will also fold into this is a discussion about privilege. So even though I might not have been seen as valuable as valuable as a brother because I am a woman, Where I did find value, or where people found value in me overseas, was in the fact that I was American. So even overseas black Americans are afforded American privilege, which is a real thing. And so there are some other privileges, dear white people. So I'm going to talk about some privileges I was afforded just by birth. I'm also going to tell a story that's pretty difficult for me to tell because it makes me uncomfortable to talk about who I was. And the reason why I'm going to do this is because I want you to understand that it's okay to be uncomfortable, and it's okay to admit that you were wrong. Once you know better, you do better. Once you know better, you're charged with doing better. But if you didn't know better up until that point, nobody's holding you responsible for that. Say, I'm sorry, endeavor to do better, and move on. So I was adopted by a really redneck white family when I was very young. When I was in 3rd or 4th grade, and they did not tell me that I was black. They raised me as a white child. When I was in 3rd or 4th grade, a girl was picking on me because I was really heavy, and I called her the N-word. Really, really shameful. Why? Why? Who taught me that? I learned from watching my parents. Not to say that people were just running around my house using the N-word, but I'm saying you learn privilege. White people learn privilege just by the essence of being white. You know, I didn't have a KKK family, and if you asked anyone in my family, they would probably deny wholeheartedly that they were racist. So I'll start with that, and it's very uncomfortable to say. It's still uncomfortable to say, but I just want you to understand that I understand. Not a lot of people of color can say they can understand where white people are coming from, but I can, because I have literally lived both sides of the coin. I was raised to believe I was white. I found out by accident that I wasn't white. I believed I was white until I was like 13. Wow. Wow. I believed my parents. So, yes, you're not the only one who has been uncomfortable. And you're not the only one who will be uncomfortable. Learn how to be uncomfortable and sit with it. It's okay. Accept it and talk about it. Share your story with other people. So I want to talk about privilege that I'm afforded. And this is privilege that you may not even know exists. So let's talk about people that have it easier in life. So we know that white men have it easier in life. Everybody just knows that. If you're a white man watching this and you don't believe that, I'm sorry, it's the truth. So white men have it easier. But in life, my nose itches today for some reason. But in life, there are some other people who also have it easier. So men are just naturally going to have it easier than women. But tall people, attractive people, thin people, not skinny, but thin. So not obese people. So fit, let's say fit. Fit people. And among people of color, fair-skinned people. People with a finer grade of hair. So you see that I fit into that category. I'm also 5'11" or 180. I'm very tall. I'm quite athletic and fit. I have a very fine grade of hair. And according to society, or at least American society, I'm relatively attractive. So I was born with a large degree of privilege. And with privilege comes great responsibility. Once you know better, you've got to do better. People are more likely to listen to me because of my skin complexion, the way that I look. I am disarming. People are more likely to listen to me. I'm less likely to get met with the same aggression that my darker skinned brothers and sisters would be met with. So because I recognize this privilege, I have 4 groups on Facebook dedicated solely to American people of color. I have this YouTube channel for everyone, but now I'm going to start gearing it towards my brothers and sisters as well. I've been coaching primarily my brothers and sisters over the years. So I because of the privilege I'm given, I feel a great obligation to be a part of the movement and doing something more than just being present, to do something for equality in the community. That was why the racism incident that I just spoke about was such a serious thing, because I believe that full and wholeheartedly that why the reason why the universe put me here was to join this battle. So, dear white people, if you truly believe in your heart of hearts that you are not a racist and your desire is to prove that you're not racist, with privilege comes great responsibility. So you are now responsible for doing something to make a difference for those that cannot do for themselves. That is the responsibility that is afforded with that you're afforded with privilege, that's laid upon you when you have all this privilege. So, wow, that was a lot to cover. And I hope I haven't run anybody off by going off this direction, but I really don't feel like I have a choice. And so if you feel like you need to leave, I'm so sorry to see you go, but I'm still sending this message with love, light, and joy. And we don't want to see you go, but we're at this point now in the world where you've kind of got to choose sides. Are you on the side of right? Or are you on the side of fascism? So I'm about equity, equality, and diversity. I am about love and peace and joy, not just for my people, but for all marginalized people in the world. Yes, we are all one race. Yes, we all share the same blood. However, when we're realistic, we recognize that there are marginalized people all over the globe, and the job will never be done. So, if you've been afforded privilege, I charge you from here to do something meaningful for someone other than yourself. Do something meaningful for a person of color in your life. Stand up to the institution for somebody who cannot or feels less empowered just simply for the color of our skin. So I want to thank you so much for letting me get this out, because I was really scary. Speaking about race openly is something that scares me. There's a lot of discourse about it. So I just want to send you, as always, love, light, and joy. Until next time, Kamina the Coach. I'm out. Peace.